Okay, so we are making a grease salad. The first thing you do is you're going to want to cut off the butt end of the lettuce. And then you want to chop the lettuce up. And while I'm chopping the lettuce up, some common breakfasts in Greece are the kalori. This is one of the most common breakfasts, and it is a bread donut shaped, sprinkled with sesame seeds, and is perfectly served with some cream cheese. When you're done chopping up your lettuce, you're going to want to put it in a bowl, a big bowl, that you're going to end up putting all of your ingredients in. Okay, the next step is to grab a cucumber. Now with the cucumber, you want to cut it in half and then slice it into slices. And while you're cutting, very common lunches in Greece would be a vegetable casserole. It's a casserole filled with many different vegetables, including tomatoes, some olives, a lot of things, and it is very nutritious. When you're done slicing up your cucumbers, you're going to throw it in the same bowl that you threw the lettuce in. Now once you're done with that, you're going to want to grab some cherry tomatoes and you're going to want to cut them in halves or even fourths, depending on what you like. And then while we're cutting, very common dinners in Greece is the kefteds. It's a Greece meatball, and it can be served with a lot of things, including Greek salad, which is a very common one, and also bread. A Greek salad is a very common snack in Greece, probably one of the most common snacks in Greece, and it can be filled with many different things other than what I'm putting in this one. Some of them have like onions and other ingredients in them. When you're done putting the cherry tomatoes in the same bowl that you put in your cucumbers and lettuce, you're going to want to chop up a green bell pepper. You're going to want to cut it into slices and then cut it into fourths or cubes, which is what I did. And then while you're doing that, some common drinks in Greece would be ouzo. It is an alcoholic drink that is very common, what most people in Greece drink. When you're done putting away the green pepper in the same bowl that you've put everything else in, you're going to want to get out some Kalamata olives, and you're going to want to cut them up into halves or fourths, or you can leave them whole depending on what you like. And while you're doing that, some common cooking utensils in Greece are the mortar and a pestle. The mortar is used to store stuff like oil, and it can be easily dumped out of, or dump old oil in there and store it. And a pestle is used to grind up dry ingredients, and it's a stone bowl with a stone handle on it that you use to grind them up, which they're common in the U.S. too. They have many of the same stuff, but those are the two different ones. No, I just skipped that part.
It's in the drawer, in the fridge, in a bag.
Okay.
There's right on it. And anything that you didn't pick up, it will be in. Are you videoing right now?
Yeah. Now you're going to need some capers. And what you're going to do with these capers is what I'm doing right now is you're going to want to drain out some liquid, and you're going to want to get a half of a teaspoon full of them and dump them in the bowl. And while I'm draining them, some food customs in Greece is that they don't typically eat breakfast, but they eat more of like a morning snack. And their lunch is around 2 p.m., which is their biggest meal of the day. And dinner is mainly leftovers from lunch or like a lighter meal. And every time that they eat, they have a salad, mostly a Greek salad, which is what I'm making. Once you're done with that, you're going to want to get your feta cheese. And you're going to put however much you would like in there. I just dumped a little in. You can always add more, it doesn't got to be exact, which is what I did. So now you're going to want to grab a bowl that you're going to mix all of your wet ingredients in for the sauce. And some table manners in Greece is that they consistently dress up nice when going out, and they don't sit until they're told to be sit. And they don't eat until the host eats if they're at somebody's house, and no elbows or hands are on the table. Now what I'm doing right here is I'm going to get 3 tablespoons of olive oil. Now when you're done putting the olive oil in, you're going to want to put in 3 tablespoons of red wine vinegar into the same bowl. And once I'm doing that, some religious customs is that Greece observe feast as well as they fast. A roasted stuffed turkey is eaten for Christmas, and a baby lamb or goat roasted whole is served for Easter dinner. Many traditional cakes are served at both Christmas and Easter. Some popular dishes in Greece is the moussaka, which is a tomato meat that is layered in eggplant and is topped with bechamel sauce. Another one is a gyro. A gyro is served with lamb meat on a bread topped with vegetables or cheese or whatever ingredients you want. Now what I'm doing in here is I'm getting salt. I need 3/4 tablespoon of salt. Now while I'm doing that, some table settings in Greece start with the middle plate and a napkin on top, 2 forks on the left, one for the salad, the other one for the food, and a spoon and a knife on the other side. Now you're going to want to grab your oregano leaves. And when you grab your oregano leaves, you're going to want to get 1/2 teaspoon of those in there. After that, you're going to want to get 1/4 teaspoon of ground black pepper. And then while I'm doing that, a common restaurants is the Karamadika, This restaurant served with many different kinds of food and has very high reviews on their service. And the Mani Mani, this is a very fancy restaurant that served many unique foods like octopus, which you do not see a lot in the U.S. And then some food stats. This graph shows the different amounts of food, which consists of a lot of meat and vegetables. And then this graph that I'm looking at here shows the products spent on food, and it's gone down throughout the years, but it was really high up in 2025. Now what I'm doing here, or in 2015, sorry, and what I'm doing here is I'm pouring the sauce into the bowl, and then I want to mix the bowl up. And while I'm doing that, some facts about Greece is made up of many islands. 80% of Greece is mountains. More people visit Greece a year than the Greek population, so more people visit instead of living there. And then Greek is one of the oldest languages that is still used today. And that will be all.